Ralph Nader spoke to The Intercept about the decline of the Democratic Party, and I want to give you some of his points here because he really hits the nail on the head. So this is a little long, but bear with me because it's worth every second of it. Here's what he says. Do you want me to go through the history of the decline and decadence of the Democratic Party? I'm going to give you millstones around the Democratic Party neck that are milestones. The first one was in 1979. Tony Coelho, who was a congressman from California and who ran the House Democratic campaign treasure chest, convinced the Democrats that they should bid for corporate money, corporate PACs, that they could raise a lot of money. Why leave it up to Republicans and simply rely on the dwindling labor union base for money when you had a huge honeypot in the corporate area? And they did. And I could see the difference almost immediately. First of all, they lost the election to Reagan, and then they started getting weaker in the Congress. At that time, 1980, some of our big allies were defeated in the so-called Reagan landslide against Carter. We lost Senator Nelson, Senator Magnuson, Senator Church. We had more trouble getting congressional hearings investigating corporate malfeasance by the Democrat congressional committee chairs. When the Democrats regained the White House in 1992, you could see the difference in appointments to regulatory agencies. The difficulty in getting them to upgrade health and safety regulations. Increasingly, they began to judge their challenge to Republicans by how much money they raised. You talk to Marcy Kaptur from Cleveland. She says, we go into the Democratic caucus in the House, we go in talking money, we stay talking money, and we go out with our quotas for money. As a result, they took the economic issues off the table that used to win again and again in the 30s and 40s for the Democrats. The labor issues, the living wage issues, the health insurance issue, pension issues. And that, of course, was a huge bonanza for the Republican Party because the Republican Party could not contend on economic issues. They contended on racial issues, on bigotry issues, and that's how they began to take control of the solid Democratic South after the civil rights laws were passed. Raising money from Wall Street, from the drug companies, from health insurance companies, the energy companies, kept Democrats from their main contrasting advantage over the Republicans, which is FDR's, which is in FDR's parlance, the Democratic Party is the party of working families, Republicans are the party of the rich. That flipped it completely and left the Democrats extremely vulnerable. The third millstone is they decided to campaign by TV, with political consultants influencing them and getting their 15 to 20% cut. When you campaign by TV, you campaign by slogans. You don't campaign by policy. Next millstone, the labor unions began getting weak in numbers and weak in leadership. They began shelling out huge money to the Democrats for television, and as they became weaker, they lost their grassroots mobilization on behalf of the Democrats. The Democrats began the process of message preceding policy. No, policy precedes message. That means they kept saying how bad the Republicans are. They campaigned not by saying, look how good we are, we're going to bring you full Medicare for all. We're going to crack down on corporate crime against workers and consumers and the environment, stealing, lying, cheating you. We're going to get you a living wage. We're going to get a lean defense, a better defense, and get some of this money and start rebuilding your schools and bridges and water and sewage systems and libraries and clinics. Instead of that, they campaigned by saying, can you believe how bad the Republicans are? Now, once they say that, they trap their progressive wing because their progressive wing is the only segment that's going to change the party to be a more formidable opponent because they say to their progressive wing, you've got nowhere to go. Get off our back. Every word of that is spot on. Every single word of that. I don't even know if I have anything to add to it. It is just, it's almost like the caricature parody version of that today. That's what we see with the corporate Democrats, where they'll scream about Russia all day long, but try getting a Democrat to really hammer away on getting Medicare for all. Try getting a Democrat to hammer away on free college. Try getting a Democrat to hammer away on ending the wars. Try getting one to hammer away on ending the drug war. Try get one to hammer away on a living wage. Pretty much the best you get, except for from Bernie Sanders and perhaps from time to time Elizabeth Warren, the best you get is like a tepid endorsement of some of those ideas. But even that, when push came to shove and it's actually time to vote on it, they wouldn't do it. We're seeing that right now in California with the Democrats and single payer. They have a supermajority, and a Democrat just killed single payer. So when your party is based on, man, the other guys suck, and, Russia, hysteria, let me scream about something that has zero policy implications for you so I don't have to promise you anything. People see through it, man. You're not gonna dupe the progressive base. Let me repeat that. You're not gonna dupe the progressive base. If they were gonna be duped, Hillary Clinton would have won. Or it would have been the progressive base holding their nose and saying, all right, whatever. Lesser evil, here we go. But Donald Trump won, who had a 60% unfavorability rating the day he won. The Republicans have picked up 1,000 seats since Obama got elected the first time. The Democrats are wiped out at every level of government. Why? Because the prominent Democratic model is corporatism, so-called centrism, neoliberalism. Abandon the economic issues, kind of agree with the Republicans on economic issues, on regulatory issues, on tax issues. There's minor differences, and the Democrats are a little better, but not much. Abandon important, serious domestic issues, living wage, Medicare for all, free college, which used to be cornerstones of the Democratic Party, and say, oh, aren't we so progressive? Look, we don't despise gay people and black people. The definition of a low bar. The definition of a low bar. No, we need candidates who are there on all the social issues. Yes, you should be in favor of gay marriage. Yes, you should be in favor of equal rights for everybody. But then also you need to be in favor of Medicare for all and free college and ending the wars and ending the drug war and so re-regulating Wall Street, so on and so forth. But no, they're a vapid party, and it's become more and more vapid ever since they started accepting corporate money. And then look where we are now. The Democratic Party is in shambles, and the Clinton wing is still doing everything they can to hold on to power. But by the way, that's why Justice Democrats are here. Because our whole movement is based on creating a party, an entire party in Bernie Sanders' image. The entire movement is based on bringing back those old school Democrats that just rule out up front corporate money and PAC money. Not interested in corporate money, not interested in PAC money by any stretch of the imagination. So we only raise money from the people, and then we represent the people and small donations. Now, by the way, that's not even the full solution. The full solution is to get money out of the system, and if you support Justice Democrats, you're supporting candidates who are in favor of that and will take every avenue possible to do so. So the real answer is getting money out of the system, but until we get to that point, it's not an option to take corporate money and PAC money. It's just not an option because that leads to conflicts of interest by definition. It's just human nature. They give you money, you're going to do favors for them. We only want to do favors for the people, which isn't favors. That's called democracy. If you take from the people and then do for the people, that's democracy. That's the way it's supposed to work. But Justice Democrats are going to be the only group, the only wing of a political party in America, well, of the two major political parties, that's in favor of actual democracy and looking out for the people. JusticeDemocrats.com. By the way, we do need you because we are at an institutional financial disadvantage because our opponents just take giant checks from billionaires and corporations and PACs, and we need to raise a little bit at a time. So we do need you. JusticeDemocrats.com/donate. And by the way, we're still doing a Secular Talk shirt drive for Justice Democrats. So half the proceeds go to Justice Democrats as a political contribution to them and to all of our candidates. And if you're interested in that, it's booster.com/Secular Talk shirts, booster.com/Secular Talk shirts. I know I'm getting mine. We got 2 new shirts that came out, and you still have the old ones, the first generation and second generation Secular Talk shirts. So get involved however you can. Read our platform if you haven't. I know I say that all the time, but that platform is very important and is the future of the Democratic Party. Because if they don't go in that direction and they stay doing what they're doing now, Ralph Nader is right. They're just a burning pile of ash that's utterly useless.